Good morning. I'm here at the Bobcat Ridge Trailhead, and this is located inside the Bobcat Ridge Natural Area. And I'm the only one up here so far. And today, I'm going to hike it up and around the Ginny Trail. It's a nice little loop. I'll probably take it down the Powerline Trail. And I believe that's going to be a little over 9 miles with just over a 1,600-foot elevation gain. Official start time, 6:05. And there are a few more deer over here. Yeah, they are everywhere. I probably saw 20 of them driving in. Cue the deer footage now. And today, I'm going to be going for this Ginny Trail, which takes it up to the ridge there, and then across, and then I'm going to drop it down the Powerline Trail. Beautiful morning so far. Nice temperature, hardly any wind. Beautiful. I have made it out to the trail split, and I'm going to start off to the left, take it over to the Ginny Trail, and then I'm probably going to come back via the Valley Loop Trail. All right, let's do it. And I am going to want to stay on the trail on this hike, because if I get into the grass, that's the tick zone. I'm not trying to pick up any ticks today. Beautiful area out here, tons of wildlife. And I usually hit this area up in the winter when it's either snowy or the grass is all brown. So this is going to be really nice today to hike when everything's green. Yeah, this is incredible. All right, let's do it. I've come upon the Eden Valley Spur Trail. That's a 1.3 mile dead-end trail there. Just kind of goes out to Eden Valley. Then you got to hike it back. I've done that once before with my dad. But we're going to stay to the right and take it on up the Ginny Trail. That reminds me of Forrest Gump. Ginny, gonna take it up the Ginny Trail. And I'm sorry, but Forrest Gump didn't have very good luck when it came to women. He was like 0 for 1. He was with one woman one time and got a kid out of it. Nice job, Forrest. Way to pick him. All right, and what's this? The beginning of the Ginny Trail, which leads over to Mahoney Park. And this sign is talking about how fire is natural, but devastating. Yeah, nice cope on that one. Right here it says in June 2000, flames from a campfire ignited dry grasses. Yeah, campfires aren't natural. And then this also got hit by the Cameron Peak fire. Again, not natural. So yeah, I wish they'd quit putting that these fires are natural, because they're not. They're all caused by stupid people. Every single one of them. And I've got an idea, which is pretty radical, and I'm guessing that's not going to be too popular with my subscribers. But I am all for Colorado implementing a full ban on campfires. No more campfires, period, anywhere. I mean, if we want to have any trees left in this state, they need to ban campfires, because people obviously can't handle them. Yeah, I don't care that you think you need a campfire when you camp. Too bad. No more campfires. People have abused the campfires. And if there's anybody still watching this video, this trail just got real narrow. The grass is leaning over, and I'm probably gonna pick up some ticks. And you guys are probably like, good. I hope you pick up ticks for what you said about campfires. How dare you say that about campfires? I'm responsible. I know how to handle a campfire. Do you? Do you really? And this probably isn't the best time to ask, but I would really appreciate it if you became a Patreon, help support the channel. I could really use it because normally I was working 3 days a week and I have a pretty physical job, and it was making it to where it was really difficult to do 2 hard hikes a week on my off days because I really didn't have any kind of a rest period before I had to go back to work. So starting next week, I cut it down to only 2 days a week. And that will give me plenty of time to go out and do really hard hikes. So although financially speaking, that was probably not a smart decision, when it comes to hiking, it was brilliant. And you guys are probably like, what kind of job do you have that's hard? I deliver for Amazon. And although it doesn't sound hard, it is. Opening and closing that sliding van door 200 times a day gets tiring. And on my first day off, after working 3 in a row, I ain't worth a crap. I just sit around and sleep all day. And last week was pretty bad because I hit a car. I sideswiped it coming in trying to park. So I called up dispatch. I told them what happened because I was like, yep, that's the end of that job. And they're like, oh, dude, don't even worry about it. That's just part of the business. My boss was like, dude, I ripped the front bumper off the Toyota Tacoma the morning that the guy picked it up. He's like, we're just happy that you reported it, so don't worry about it. He's like, we got other guys that like back into houses and don't even tell anybody. So if you guys see that Amazon truck coming, you better watch your back and head for the hills because it just might run over you. And you might be asking yourself, well, what do I get if I become a Nick Sangetta Patreon? Well, let me tell you. You get uncut, uncensored versions of the hikes like a day or two after I hike them, where I say even more outrageous and offensive things. Plus, random Patreon updates where I just rant about random things. I talk about, trail upgrades and stuff going on in my personal life. Yeah, the Patreons knew that I had hit a car like 3 weeks ago. I'm on my final layer of hills. I've just been kind of coming up through them the whole time. But up there where the trees are is going to be the top of the ridge. And then once I'm up there, I just kind of bounce it across the top. Beautiful flowers though. Yeah, this is awesome out here. Yeah, this last little bit up to the ridge is deceptively long. It looks like you're right there, but you're not. So you got to keep going. It's tucked way back there. And in just under an hour and 40 minutes, I've made it up here to the top of the ridge. And this is where you get the awesome views over to the west. And that's going to be the east side of Palisade Mountain right there. And it's just all burned up. Yeah, I'm up here with the trees now. And like I said, that whole area to the west is all burnt up. And that is damage from the Alexander Mountain Fire in 2024. I thought it had burned up more of the Bobcat Ridge area here, but thankfully it didn't. The firefighters did an amazing job of saving this area, preserving Eden Valley. They saved a bunch of homes up there at Cedar Park. Yeah, they did an amazing job. Plus they kept the fire to the north of 34 Highway. I'm telling you, if it would have jumped that highway, there was nothing that could have stopped it. And right here, it looks like I'm going to be crossing over into the Roosevelt National Forest, which means I could have brought the drone. No big deal. Not too long ago, I hiked up to the summit of the Green Ridge, which is just up to the north a little bit, and I flew the drone up there. Feels like that sun's popping back out again. It got pretty cloudy there for a second, which was actually kind of nice. I didn't have that sun beating down on me because it gets hot out here at these lower elevations. And as I come around the corner here, I'm getting my first real good views of Alexander Mountain. And then that's going to be Blue Mountain, Stone Mountain, Sheep Mountain, and Palisade. And this is looking out to Palisade Mountain. And then right here to the north of it is Cedar Park. And the firefighters did an amazing job of saving the majority of those homes up there. Unfortunately though, a few of them did get burnt. And then I believe that peak in the background is Crozier. And the one off to the right is Storm Mountain. And this is looking to the north. And I believe that high point in the background is going to be the summit of the Green Ridge. And I did that a couple months ago. And then right across from it over here is Spruce Mountain. And I've tried to get to that from a couple different directions, and it's just surrounded by private property. So there doesn't seem to be a way to access that. Man, the flowers are popping up here. Bright colors all over the place. Made it up here to the next trail split, and off to the left is the On the Rocks trail. And this sign says that it is extremely difficult, experts only. And I was thinking about going that way, but it's going to bypass Mahoney Park. And I love Mahoney Park. So I'm going to stay on the standard trail. Yeah, look at this. Amazing. All these purple flowers. And then as I come around the corner here, that is going to be looking down onto the Mahoney Nature Bowl. And that always reminds me of Police Academy. Steve Guttenberg. Mahoney! He was always getting in trouble. Yep, good old Steve Guttenberg, an icon of the 80s. And I've pretty much dropped it down into the Mahoney Nature Bowl. This is going to be the sign for it right here. Talking about all the different wildlife that live in the Mahoney Nature Bowl. All right, let's continue on. And if you are afraid of bees, I would avoid this trail because there have been a plethora of bees on it. Yeah, in my humble opinion, getting to hike through the Mahoney Nature Bowl is the highlight of the hike. It is really cool down here. Got some awesome rocks. And this grass is super green right now. How did these rocks get here? So slowly. I think they meant so slowly, but they put too many O's in there. Yeah, this is beautiful through here. Awesome. Okay. Well, it looks like that On the Rocks trail dumps in right here. So, it looks like you can still do that and catch the majority of Mahoney Park. Huh, that's good to know. Next time I come out here, I'll bring the drone and I'll take that trail. And look at this big old whale rock. I can see the power lines right out there in front of me, which means I'm getting really close to the power line trail. Yeah, I love how the trail winds through the rocks here in Mahoney Park. Really epic. And in 2 hours and 55 minutes, I've made it down to the power line trail. And this is also where the DR trail begins. But today, I'm gonna hang a right and take it down the power line trail. And coming down this power line trail isn't the most pleasant thing in the world. It's more or less a real steep, loose, and rocky road, but at least it's wide and I'm not rubbing up against the grass anymore. It's taken me 40 minutes to come down the top part of the power line trail, and this is where the DR trail loops back in. And I've still got probably another 1.5 miles back to the trailhead. And not too much further past where the DR trail was dumping in, and just to the west of the TP ring, looks like the beginning of the Valley Loop Trail. And this is going to be the west side of it. I don't go this way too often, so let's check it out. Let's take it back the west side of the Valley Loop Trail. And this isn't the most spectacular hike, as in you're not hiking up in the Rocky Mountains or anything, but it is beautiful in its own right. And if you want a nice dose of nature, you can't go wrong with the Bobcat Ridge Natural Area. And to my surprise, I've been going uphill pretty much ever since the trail split on the west side of this valley loop. But it's got to be topping out like right here. And I've seen quite a few lizards on this trail. And here's one right here on the rock. Hey, little buddy. Well, no wonder why there was so much uphill on this side of the Valley Loop Trail. I'm reconnecting with the Ginny Trail way up here. Whew. All right, let's stay to the left. Take it back down to the trailhead. Almost done with this thing. And I've only seen 3 other people out here all day long. I saw one guy on a bike, another guy that was bird watching, and then I got passed by another guy riding a horse. Beautiful day though. Nice little hike, and I'm loving listening to all the birds. And then right here by the shelter is where the east side of the Valley Loop Trail dumps in, and that is a much easier trail. It's all wide, nice and groomed. Yeah, that west side is definitely a little more difficult. And I'm back, Bobcat Ridge Trailhead. It's just now 10:25, so I've been out here hiking for about 4 hours and 20 minutes. According to Cotrex, that's just over 9 miles with over a 1,600 foot elevation gain. And I can believe it. That was a decently long hike. Beautiful though. You can't go wrong with the Bobcat Ridge Natural Area. Well, I hope you enjoyed that hike. And until the next one, y'all, peace.